You or someone you love needs help for an addiction. Where do you turn? Foundations Recovery Network offers individualized treatment for the whole person. Our goal goes beyond short-term sobriety. We address substance abuse and co-occurring mental health issues together, providing a firm foundation for long-term recovery. The first step is often the hardest, but we're here with a free assessment, insurance information, and treatment options. Our confidential helpline is available 24/7, so call 877-714-1318 and discover the Foundations Recovery Network difference today.
Yo, what's up? This is Jacoby from Papa Roach.
This is Ryan Leaf.
This is Rich Roll, and you're listening to Sober Guy Radio.
Yo, what's up? Thank you for tuning in. Thanks to Humans for bringing us in. Thanks to you for supporting the show. Thought we'd switch it up a little bit. This is actually the first song I ever heard by Humans, Water Water. And when I heard it, it was just one of those jams that I was like, damn, that's hot. I love it. And then I met Robbie and we became homies. And super stoked to have Humans bringing us in. Always some good stuff there. Closing us out. So always excited to bring you Sober Guy Radio from Northern California, coming to you from a little town called Vacaville. Got to give some love to the cow town, otherwise known as Vacaville, California. So thank you to everybody for supporting the recovery movement, supporting the show. I'm very excited to have the Jess joining us tonight after a long-awaited appearance. We get so many requests and emails mentioning the Jess in some of the reviews and the emails we get. I think people love to hear her point of view from the perspective of the significant other, the wife, the spouse, the friend, all that on the other end of the addiction side. And not only that, but Jess has her own experience in dealing with anxiety, depression, and all that kind of stuff that she's experienced in her own, her own personal journey and story too. So she gets to share some of that, and hope to bring some light to that this evening when we talk about Mental Health Awareness Month and the 1 Million Mowhawk Challenge. And we'll get into that just in a minute. But Jess, thank you for coming on Sober Guy Radio. It's great to have you back on the show.
I am so happy to be here. I'm feeling young tonight. We're cutting mohawks. We're doing live Facebook feeds. We're up till 10:15.
It's 10:25 even, actually.
Like,
so
what?
we're totally cutting it out right now. That's what I said too.
Music all loud and drinking Bang.
We were rocking out.
I'm not drinking Bang. I can't handle
Anyone
that.
had a Bang? We just talked about this. Is like the fourth Bang. I think is going to be a sponsor of the show now, apparently, because we keep talking about it all night. It's like it doesn't have sugar. It's not in, I guess, I don't know. Is it categorized as an energy drink? I mean, it's got,
I would say so.
Branch chain amino acids and super creatine, and it's the lemon drop flavor. So I don't know.
And I'm going to go with yes on the energy drink situation question.
It's got a lot of caffeine in it.
Shane is off the hook tonight.
Well, so
He's feeling himself.
Definitely feeling myself, and I feel you though. I feel a bit young again. I feel a bit
I think
up
it's the
late.
Mohawk.
I think it's the Mohawk. It was exciting. So here's the Mohawk deal. This is a big reason of why we are sitting in tonight and doing a show tonight. And of course, it's always great to have Jess on, like I already mentioned. And we get to talk about Mental Health Awareness Month in May. And we're supporting our friends in the UROC Foundation by helping them launch their 1 Million Mowhawks for Mental Health campaign. Now, society obviously has came a long way, but stigma around mental health still prevents countless people from talking about it and also seeking the help that they need. It's something that's not easily talked about, right along with substance abuse, and we are all personally impacted by it, whether it's a friend, a family member. Usually anytime I sit down and have a conversation with somebody and this happens to come up, whether it's mental health, substance abuse, addiction, anything like that, there is always somebody who knows somebody. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend, maybe it is somebody who Oh yeah, you got me off there. Maybe it's somebody that you love. So they're determined to change that. We're all determined to change that collectively by bringing some much needed attention to all those who are suffering. And in the month of May, personally challenging everybody out there by taking the 1 Million Mowhawk Challenge. So now that we've told you a little bit about it, here's how you can support it. Now, Jess and I just did a Facebook Live just about an hour ago. And so you can go to the Facebook page, Shane Raymer. I'll also post it on SoberGuy.com sometime tonight or early in the morning. And you'll be able to go there and check that out and see Jess doing a phenomenal job of shaving in the mohawk. And we're having a good time joking around. We got some great people on there, friends, family, and listeners of the show, and joining in and for the 1 Million Mowhawk Challenge. So I got off track there. Here's what you can do. You can shave a mohawk. You can spike your hair. You can give yourself a colored stripe down the middle if you're bald. Got some bald homies out there loving it. Gotta take advantage of it. You can still rock it. You do it on Facebook Live or Instagram, or you can take a photo, and then be sure when you post that photo to cite the hashtag 1 Million Mowhawk Challenge, and then also mention why mental health awareness and recovery is important to you. Make sure to save the video and post it once the live feed has ended. And then you can also go to www.1millionmohawks.com and you can take the pledge to join the movement. And once again, I just want to say a big thanks to URock Foundation, Helios Recovery, and my good homie Anthony Alvarado and his team over at Rise Together, all the way out in Wisconsin, doing some phenomenal work out there. And everybody actually who's involved in helping out put the 1 Million Mowhawk Challenge together. We're very honored and excited to be a part of it. And thanks to Anthony for personally reaching out and asking us to join in. So I'm excited to have Jess cut the mohawk in. Definitely stoked on that. One more quick announcement, and then we're going to get to chatting here. One of the tools I like to use is Transitions Daily. It's a daily AA email, and it's delivered right to my inbox. It's a great way to start your day. It takes me about 5 minutes to read, and it's one of my favorite tools. You can go to dailyaaemails.com for more information about Transitions Daily and the daily AA email and how you can get it sent right to you. For more information, go to thatsoberguy.com. You can join the private Facebook group on there, Sober Guy, Sober Girl. Lots of good resources on there. And also leave us a review on iTunes if you get a few moments. Woo! Let me take a breath there. Are you doing live right now?
I am.
You still doing live?
Yeah, it's fun. I actually just found out a bunch of little things I could do on
Sick.
Hi, Candace Miller. Now I can talk. I was like waving. I was doing like little mask things, which is pretty hilarious.
You could talk. You could have interrupted my rambling, mumbling, stumbling ass.
It's a talent. Oh, I guess I should.
Yeah, you got to scoot up on that mic there.
Oh, Mom.
There you go,
Mom's
babe.
here. Mom, we got 2 moms on.
Yes.
2 moms.
Mothers, we love you.
2 moms on Facebook Live tonight.
We love you.
What's happening? And Candace Miller. Hey, Candace Miller.
What's up, Candace?
Everybody, we're doing
having
a
some
little
fun
live
tonight.
podcast. Yeah. And so check it out tomorrow. It's on mental health awareness and everything else.
Yes, you'll be able to. So for those who are only listening right now, we're doing a Facebook Live as Jess is recording. So that's what you're hearing, that back and forth of the. I'm trying to differentiate.
That's a big word.
Differentiate, something like that. Trying to do that, and at the same time think about the audio and the video. But let me get back to the show. Mental health stats. I wanted to bring this up real quick, Jess, and then let's jump into this. This comes from National Alliance on Mental Illness. That's www.nami.org. So approximately 1 in 5 adults in the U.S., or 43 million people, or 18.5% of the population, experiences a mental illness in any given year. That's a lot of people. 6.9% of adults in the U.S., that's 16 million, had at least one major depressive episode in the past year. How often do many of us talk about those things, whether it's to somebody that we're close to, or maybe it is someone that we trust, or maybe we don't talk about it at all. And that seems to be one of the big issues that, that comes up is communicating this stuff. How do we deal with anxiety? How do we deal with depression? How do we deal with substance abuse, addiction, all those types of things that are very stigmatized in our society. And thankfully, there's a lot of good people. There's huge movements going on right now. Like the 1 Million Mowhawk challenge. That's a great one. You have Facing Addiction out there, who's doing some great work. Ryan Hampton, I know he's been on the show before, out there just advocating, him and Garrett Haid, just around the country and doing some great things and bringing some awareness to it. At the same time, it's still an issue. Jess, give me some thoughts. Jump in at any time here, babe.
So everybody's loving the Facebook Live right now. It's really cool, actually, kind of fun to do.
It is.
But also a lot of people that don't even know, like a couple people have said, like, what's a podcast? I'd love to listen. So you're not alone in the world. No. A podcast is basically just kind of like what? Like an internet radio station.
It's digital.
Yes. Here we go with the techie. Tech.
I'm such a nerd.
That's why I asked, baby.
It's a digital audio file, okay? just freaking, you better just get it straight, all right?
It's digital. Yeah, okay. So you can find it at thatsoberguy.com.
There you go. Or iTunes or Stitcher Radio, all this. You go there. If you have an iPhone, go to your podcast app. You got all kinds of stuff, not just Sober Guy Radio. I mean, if you want to look at a podcast about exercise or lifting weights or cooking or news or, whatever topic, whatever kind of thing you're into, there's definitely a podcast on it, and you can have it.
Yeah, Shelly, there's so much information, like just everything. Like you would love it. Just check it out. You could search anything. There's a little podcast icon on your iPhone. You probably have ignored it 50 million times. It's purple. It's got a little microphone on it. Click that, search. Shane's particular show, this one we're on now, is That Sober Guy. But
if you're not on an iPhone,
Cormac said we're all the way live in Ireland.
I know, it's so dope. So
I know.
let's give a little love to Cormac here real quick, dude, because Cormac's been like, he was one of the first dudes all the way from Ireland when Sober Guy launched this show. When we launched Sober Guy over 3 years ago, like Cormac was one of the first homies that was like, hey, what's up, man? I'm listening. This is really cool. All the way from Ireland. And I always thought that was so cool. And he's been a part of the show and involved in the Sober Guy community, in the Facebook, contributing in his own right. He's got his own journey that he shares and talks about. So super, super cool to have him.
Cormac.
And there's a whole bunch of folks out there just, that are just doing some cool stuff. But if you don't have an iPhone, real quick, really fast, if you don't have an iPhone and you have an Android, you can go on Stitcher. You can go on Google Play.
Nerd alert.
Digital audio files. Just be sure to check out the digital audio files. Hey, how about Nick Traina here? How about that?
Oh, that's a perfect.
This is. Hey. Sorry, guys. For those just listening on the day, funny. This is hilarious.
This is so funny. I'm sorry.
I just realized though,
I'm
we're
doing
talking
Facebook
about
Live and there's
health.
like emojis and like stuff like that I go. It's too much fun. Okay,
I just realized I've had this shirt. I think I got this shirt from Stony Moke back in probably like 15 years ago, and it's a Nick Traina tribute show shirt. And Nick Traina, for those of you who don't know, was the lead singer of one of my favorite, probably my favorite punk rock band, Link 80, from the Bay Area. And he was also the son, for a lot of people don't know, he was the son of the writer Danielle Steele. And Nick lost his life to mental health. He was manic depressant, and he ended up ultimately overdosing, and he lost his life at the age of 22, I think. And I actually had Stoney on the show to talk about this, because Stoney was in the band Link 80, and he's a good homie of mine, and he was also a roadie.
I forgot about that. That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
right? that was like way back in the back.
It was. I want to look up what episode it was, because it was cool.
That was a good show. That was actually, you should find that out.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yes, because that is perfect for this month, for mental health awareness.
It is. And actually, In Recovery Magazine did a great write-up on that, about Nick Traina, and a little bit about music, the music scene and all that stuff. I don't know why that just popped into my mind, but anyways, Nick is a great example of someone who was a character, was a good dude who really had a lot of positive attributes, not only just musically, but just as a good human being. And he also had a dark side to him. He also had a side that not a lot of people knew about. You see him on stage, you see him in videos, you see him writing music, you see him doing, this amazing art. And then at the same time, from talking to Stoney and getting to know a little bit in the book, Danielle Steele wrote the book. I think it's called His Bright Light, which is one of the first gifts that I gave to Jess back in the day, because it was an awesome book.
It was when we were courting.
We were courting. But it talks about, though, in this book, and it's a great book if anyone would like to check it out. It talks about the dark side to that, and him, being isolating, going through these manic depressant episodes, and the back and forth, that fight in your head of good and evil, and kind of which side to take, and so that's kind of the reason I guess we're hopping on today. And it just so happens I got the Nick shirt on.
Did you do that on purpose?
I didn't even think about it. That's why it's so cool.
Total.
Yeah.
You know what? Right there. Happening.
I'm trying to check out. Take over here, babe. I'm trying to check out what episode that is so I can put it in here.
Okay. I feel like Garth right now.
Excuse me. I'd like to get by now.
I think we should go now.
Okay, here we go.
I don't know. I'm just having a lot of fun on this.
You're just doing the Facebook Live thing. Huh?
I am.
We don't do that often. This a couple times.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
No, I'm super juiced to talk about mental health, and I'm juiced up that there's a month for it that we can just dedicate, talking about it, bringing awareness, cutting mohawks. I just think it's so important. Not enough people talk about it. There's not enough, what's it called?
What, acknowledgement or awareness brought to it?
Yeah, basically.
Well, how many of us have struggled with something like that we don't really talk about? Because it's very personal, and it is
personal, and you're afraid you're going to be judged, and
totally. It's
very close to alcoholism. You know what I mean? I'm assuming, where you're like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't have this problem. Or, I'm embarrassed, or I don't, I don't know.
Well, we have jobs, we have careers, we have, I was listening to Trip Lanier, the New Man podcast, and Don Miguel Ruiz was on today. I was doing my little jog, and I put that on, and he was talking about identities and how we. That's crazy. What's that? Oh, he was talking about, though, how we identify with the certain ways that we think that we are, and so we kind of hide behind this. Almost this personality or this image, I guess, right? And I think we've all been guilty of this at one time or another, maybe actively, maybe it goes back and forth. I know I have. I know I try to keep it up front so I can be on top of it, but it's hard to do sometimes. And part of that goes along with being honest with ourselves and taking personal responsibility, and actually, it's like perception versus reality, right? There's a certain reality that I know exists in my own mind and what's going on. But my perception of that reality may be skewed because I don't want to admit to something. I don't want people to see me as weak. I don't want people to judge me. All those types of things that can really prohibit us from growing, I guess, to the next level. Yeah. Just as people, and
I think it also prohibits us from reaching out to other people or saying hey, I'm dealing with this, and, or I have dealt with this and overcome it, so that other people can say, oh my gosh, I'm free, they can be free from that as well. You know what I mean? They can say, oh my gosh, I've been dealing with that also, and they can feel not so alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
I think it's so important that if you're dealing with it now, so I understand that sometimes it's hard to just say that you're dealing with it, because that's the last thing that you want to do. I get it. But there's so much power in that, and there's so much freedom in that, and just saying this is what I'm dealing with, this is how I'm feeling, and these are the thoughts that are going on inside of my head, because I will guarantee, or your money back, that there's someone going through the same thing. There's someone that feels that, and they'll relate.
That's one of the key kind of taglines that kept coming up in Friday. We recorded it yesterday. It's with TJ Woodward. He's part of Foundation's network out in San Francisco. He runs the outpatient program out there. And him and I had a good conversation yesterday, and that'll come out on Friday this week on the 5th. But one of the things that kept coming up was to kind of touch on what you're just saying is you're not alone. There is other people out there going through the same stuff. Their circumstances might be different. Their skin color might be different. Their sexual preference might be different. There might be a lot of differences in, the kind of the outer circumstances, but internally, a lot of it is the same. And a lot of it is the same feelings and the same emotions and the same things that we're struggling with.
That's right.
And that's why we talk about community. We talk about doing things like the 1 Million Mowhawk Challenge, because it's not just about cutting a mohawk in. That part of it's awesome.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But it's about community. It's about drawing people together.
Yes.
It's about having people start talking about it, start bringing awareness, start opening up a little bit. And when you feel like you have a safe spot to do that and that you're not alone,
oh man,
that is when
there's nothing like it. And
so for a guy like Nick, right? I come back to that because number one, I just found the episode. It's episode 57. It's a tribute to Nick Traina. It's with my good homie Stony Moke, who I haven't talked to Stony in a while. I'd love to talk to him. We touched bases real quick when I was down in LA, but we didn't get to hook up. Total another topic, but check that episode out. It's a good one. But
you were talking about being community,
yeah,
and reaching out. Hello, bang,
dude,
bang. The bang is taking over.
My mind will just race, dude. I get so excited talking about this stuff. So if you couldn't tell, even without the bang, you know what I mean?
Without the bang,
I still get stoked.
There is something
the community
to
is
be
huge,
said,
right?
Yes, for community and finding those people, your people that you can reach out to and you can be completely raw and honest with. Who are your people? Do you have people that you can just say, bleh, it doesn't always have to be family. Sometimes it's family. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's the people that you would least expect. Do you know what I mean? Like as soon as you get raw and real with yourself, like Shane was saying, getting honest with yourself and real, as soon as you do that, you start seeing people in a different light too, right? Like people that you might have thought one thing about them or a certain way or, whatever, you start to realize that other people that you never would have thought, they might have more to offer, than you ever imagined.
For sure. Totally got That's the beauty of
What's happening over there? Did you just have a bang freeze up?
Dude, just like, I don't know. It's just hilarious. Like sometimes the thoughts that go through my mind.
Mental health awareness.
Yeah, that's why we're doing that. But I was kind of trying to think back about what I was saying about Nick too. It obviously relates to all this. And the funny thing is about this is that we talk about community, we talk about coming together. It's obvious. It's one of the biggest components to, substance abuse, to addiction recovery, mental health, all of that. Sometimes even with all that support, like for a guy like Nick, it was so, internal that he even found it hard to reach out to. So I just want to say that like, we're not sitting up here, trying to tell anybody what to do or, how,
yeah, for sure.
like this, it's easy. You just got to do this. You just got to do that. Like nobody knows, only only I know what, each of us as individuals is going through and the level of it. But the more important point is, back to community and reaching out for help and talking about things. You got, we all got to find somebody. We all got to have somebody because if we don't, it can really eat us up inside. And
I think the worst thing about it, the worst thing you could do is isolate yourself. When you think like you kind of let the illness take over and you just kind of go into this deep place and this dark place and nobody loves me and nobody cares. Nobody cares about what I'm talking about. Nobody cares what I'm thinking about. Man, it can get so dark, and it's like, it's so sad. It's sad. And it's even sadder if there's no one there to pull you out,
So definitely, I almost just skipped over this because I really don't want to talk about it. because it's hard to talk about things that are serious, right? But at the same time, I feel like we should mention it and we should talk about it because it's very relevant. It's been something recent in our community. And I'm positive that it is very relevant in communities surrounding us all across the United States and the world at that. So suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S. It's the third leading cause of death for people aged 10 to 24. And it's the second leading cause of death for people aged 15 to 24, which is super sad.
Ginger
Those
actually
are kids.
posted something. We were just live. She was saying that suicide happens every 15 minutes or something.
One every 15 minutes?
15 minutes, yeah.
It does not surprise me. It's
so sad. Like, what is happening? Like, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I know that the world is a crazy place. Like, I'm completely aware of that. But it's, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that it, like, you know, that I don't understand it, because I do. I lived it, you guys. Like, I lived in depression for a while, you know. I had anxiety. I was living in this dark place. I was so lonely, but I had so many people around me. Like, I had my family. I have a huge family. You guys I have parents that love the crap out of me. I have brothers and sisters. I have in-laws. I'm huge family. So many friends. So much stuff, you guys. And I was so lonely. I was so lonely.
I didn't understand it. I was like, what is going on?
Oh,
like,
my gosh.
What is wrong
and
with you? There's nothing wrong.
Sad.
You know?
And I was so,
I just didn't get it.
I didn't think that if I said anything to anybody, they would get it. And a couple times, for those of you out there that have reached out and people have said, like, you know, you're fine, or, you know, you'll be fine, or get over it, or just, you know, what, you have all this stuff around you. Why are you feeling this way? You know, you should be happy. Look at all the things you have. Look at all the people that love you. Yes, I know that, you know, but that makes you feel even worse, to be honest. You know, that makes you feel guilty. Right? I know that all these people are around. I know that they love me. I know I have this and that, but why am I still feeling like this? You know, it's so difficult, you guys. I understand. And I know, and like, I don't even know, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking, you know, what is the answer? But like Shane said before, we're not here to, you know, give you answers or tell you. We're just here for support, in that if you guys are feeling that way, or if something is going on, reach out, even to us. Even if you want to email me or Shane, or, you know, we have a Facebook group, you know, Sober Guy, Sober Girl. There's so much support. You can write a letter,
like
you could
back
write
in the day, with
a letter
stamp.
With a pencil and a paper, with a quill tip pen.
Hey, writing is good therapy. That might be a good idea. Write a letter.
Well, that is good therapy, for real. Get a journal. Get a journal,
Yeah.
Join a group, go to your church, talk to someone. Like, that is number one. And if the person that you talk to blows you off, or is like, you're fine, Merritt, talk to someone else. Go to the next person. Don't give up. And don't ultimately give up, because that's just not worth it. It will get better.
I want to point this last statistic out here, because it's one of the most important ones out of all of them. Each day, an estimated 18 to 22 veterans die by suicide.
Oh, that's
18 to 22 veterans die by suicide. That's a lot of men and women a day that are veterans who've been through some shit that no human being, you know, should have to see or witness.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, there's
like,
there's something I can't even understand.
Well, and I feel like, as people, we're not supposed to be able to carry stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, as human beings and people, I know nothing, you guys, about the military. Like, I'm grateful every day that there are men and women out there that are built and made for this. Like, and I'm so grateful for that. And I thank you. But I can't, like, fathom what you guys have gone through when you go to war. And then also that we're expected, or that as people, you're expected to carry that weight and that burden, and like that, those things that are not human, you know. It's just,
so in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, and all of this substance abuse, addiction, suicide, one of the, you know, like I said before, there's all types of resources. You can reach out. You can reach out to foundations. You can go to Sober Guy, soberguy.com, Facing Addiction, Rise Together. I mean, all different types of stuff. I also want to give out the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It's a 1-800 number. It's 1-800-273-8255. It's 1-800-273-8255. It's 24 hours a day. If you or you know somebody who is, not doing well, reach out. You know what I mean? Reach out. You're not alone. And it's like Jess said, it will get better. There's always hope.
And I just feel like I have to say too, like, there is, it's okay if medication is recommended to you, and that's something that you have to, think about, pray about, whatever it is, however you make decisions in your life. But you, it's okay to hop on some medication if that's what you feel like you need to do for that time or that season of life. I don't think we're not advising anybody to do that, of course
right?
not.
We're just saying that.
Of course not. Okay, this is what I'm saying. That's what I did. That's what I did.
There you go.
And that's all I'm saying is that it was a very difficult decision for me, because of course the stigma and everything. I mean, you guys, I don't, love that I had to do that, but I did it, and I do believe that it for that little season, it did give me the season that it did give me a little bit more clarity. Of kind of what
it
direction.
Served a purpose for you.
Yes,
at that
for
time.
me. Yes. What
tool,
direction
like
I needed to go and whatever. Yes, a tool. Exactly. But it's not, for me, it wasn't something that I wanted to, I don't know. But for me, it wasn't something that I was going to, be on forever and ever. It was a tool. That's a very good way of putting it.
You tool. I wish I had a sample for that right now. You damn tool. You can't hear the samples, I forgot, because you don't have headphones on. But I have some awesome samples on here. Let's play one of them. Anybody like Spicoli?
Hey, this is great, man.
Oh, that wasn't
Oh, my
Spicoli.
mic's falling.
Uh-oh.
Ay.
Here, let me what do I do? I gotta like totally restructure the thing.
That's okay. I can
hold
just hold it.
Huh?
I can just hold it.
You can't hold both.
Tell me I can't.
Hold on.
Just kidding.
Let me fix this. Let me fix it.
What the frick? Wow, babe. I love it when you screw in my mic.
You gotta move over this way a little bit. Come back over.
Okay. All right. Technical difficulties. Actually, it's not technical. It's what would this be exactly?
We're doing the quick setup tonight.
What would this be called?
It's
Lucy's
called,
ride, her Escalade.
It's
No
called
big deal.
a.
Whatever.
It's called a tech.
Ginger said
tech
it's X-rated.
difficulty.
Because I said I like it when you screw in my mic, babe.
I like to screw in your mic.
Oh my God.
Disgusting.
That's
Ew.
gross. Ew. Who does that? Bang. As I'm looking at you.
Yeah. You couldn't hear the sample, but anyways.
All right. So, where did we leave off? What was
I was going to transition this into
Let's
a little bit about
transition.
the kids handing my ass to me today. Dude, man, they just like tore like. So who has kids out there? I'm sure a lot of us listening have kids, so you kind of can relate.
And
if
we
you don't
love
have
them.
kids, just don't have them. I'm just totally kidding. Totally kidding. If you don't have kids, if you do have kids, one day you'll understand what the hell I'm talking about, and you can go back because this is a digital audio file, and you can listen to it at any time because it's the podcast. And if you don't know what a podcast is, then you just go on your little icon. It's a little purple one. Hello. See, look at it. It's not the size of my wiener. Just kidding.
Oh,
okay.
My gosh.
Okay, let me take a breath here. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the kids handed my ass to me today, and it was one of those days where just everything was getting on my nerves, and everything was just like I was just like.
I think. Can I just
and
say
it was
that
just
I think
they're
it
just
was
being kids.
Probably a total of 15 minutes. Before he started getting completely annoyed, and I'm like, for real? Like he's like, oh, I can't. I'm like,
and here,
looking at him like, for real right now?
Here is the point to that. And that's a great point. And you're exactly right. And I'm glad that you brought that up.
Teresa.
Because.
I don't know how you do it.
Because that whatever happened in my day that I didn't deal with during the daytime bled into my time with the kids. Does that make sense? So in me not taking care of things during the day that was on my mind that I was stressing off with, there was work stuff, there was some other things that were just on my mind. I worked a little bit late today, and then at the end of the day, I didn't have time to like stop for a second and like and kind of just I don't know, even if it's just taking like 10 minutes and just like letting my mind clear. I went right into the kids, and which obviously I'm not bitching and complaining right now, because I kind of am actually bitching and complaining right now, and I feel kind of like a little puss for that, because kind of like a little bitch for complaining right now, because you handle business with this shit all day. I don't know how the hell you do it.
All day.
You're definitely definitely wired a bit different than me to handle it. But
no,
anyways, to my point real quick, and then I'll shut the hell up and you can add on to this. But I didn't deal with that crap, and it went right in. And what it did is it took away from the kids' time. And I'm very aware of this when it's going on, right? But I get emotional and I start getting pissed off and I start getting that bad attitude. And there was a quick moment though, and I want to share this, and it's kind of embarrassing to share, but it's very, I thought it was a really like good moment. It was definitely a God moment. It reminded me real quick, like, dude, you need to chill out and check yourself, because number one, it's not the kids, it's you. And number two, you're very blessed. So I go outside, and like literally, how many times do we all go around and we're constantly picking shit up around the house, right? You pick something up, and then there's something there again in the same spot. And you're like, dude, I just picked that up. You're going around, right? While I was doing this outside, I was trying to start the barbecue, trying to get dinner, that whole thing. Jess was at her meeting doing her thing. And there was a baseball bat on the side yard that Cash was out there playing with, right? And I had already cleaned some stuff up, and I went back there and I started doing the whole mumbling thing. Yeah, what? I just picked this shit up. And like immediately something snapped and stopped me, and it just said like, like there are people out there who don't have the opportunity either to have children, or maybe they've lost a child. Maybe they've been, and this isn't like a guilt thing. It was just a moment of just like, dude, like wake up, man, like get with it. They don't have that opportunity anymore, and they would kill for that opportunity to come back and go pick their kid's bat up. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting here bitching about it, and it just, made me realize like, man, like I have a lot of good blessings. I need to have that attitude of gratitude. And it did help to kind of flip the script for a minute and change my attitude. So takeaway for this, for me, all this shit is internal. It all starts with me. It's not the circumstances, and it's not anyone else's fault. It's my own attitude, and I can change that at any moment. That's the beauty of the choice.
Hey, right? I'm here. Hey-o.
I don't get to do this often with the co-host, so my apologies, man. I'm usually on the solo.
No, babe, but it's not you. It's about the bang.
It's not you, it's me.
Shelly said it's all about perspective for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Totally. Definitely about perspective.
Yes. Total. I think that's life in general, right? Perspective. Because it's hard. Just life in general. Kids, life, or jobs, work. Whatever the heck. But when we put it into perspective, it's wonderful. How
about a sweaty ass back? Is that hard? Because my back is sweaty right now.
Well, that's because it's so hot in here. Like
it's pretty hot in here.
Kind of dying.
It's pretty hot.
A little bit.
What do you have to add to this conversation, since my rambling ass won't?
Well, I will say no bang before another podcast, another co-host podcast. It's probably not the best idea. No more bang for you. Oh, that's what she said.
Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? Right now. Are you kidding me? You want to read some emails? I have some emails.
Yeah, let's read an email. I'm kind of, I don't know.
All right, let's go over a few emails. We get lots of great emails, so everyone out there who sends emails in, we read them. We always respond to them. We don't get a lot of opportunities to read them on the show, so maybe we can go through a couple of them tonight and just check them out. And then I think we'll wrap this up here shortly. This first one is from Katie, And this was just a real quick one, which I really thought was great. It's awesome to hear feedback and just hear what you all are up to and hear some cool thoughts and stories and stuff too. Just wanted to say thanks. I've been sober now 2 years, and your podcast helps so much. Just wanted to let you know, living life in sobriety is awesome. So, Katie, thanks for that.
That's awesome. That's so good.
This one, hold on a second. I want to find one that I'm going through some of these, but there was a couple. Yeah, this one was cool because I'll just tell you why it's cool and you can check it out. This is comedy right now. Okay, I've only been sober. This comes from Jen. I've only been sober a couple weeks. It started out rocky, but it's going well. Found your podcast the day I committed to quit. Love listening to the stories, Jess's perspective on things, and your guests, of course. She says, I live in Baltimore where alcohol is the center of everything people do. How many of us can relate to that?
Just Baltimore.
And if you can have a drink and you can go home, I'm not hating on you. Like, do your thing, but I'm just talking about, for us that just can't, do that.
Yeah.
But with at least one neighborhood bar on every corner, tailgating for hours prior to a 5-hour baseball game or getting hammered at shows, it's easy to not feel like you have a problem in a place where passing out is the same as going to bed. And most of the people have a lawyer and a bail bondsman's number in their phone just in case. So you drink until you can't drink anymore. Then you have one last beer or a shot for good measure. Sober people are considered kind of weird and definitely not fun. So it's nice to listen to some friendly voices talking about living a good, sober, somewhat uncomplicated life, even if it's from afar. And then she also goes on to mention the podcast with Anthony Alvarado, who we've talked quite a bit about tonight. He's an awesome dude over at Rise Together. They're doing some great things. Just amazing. And as well as Amanda Nelson. Her story is amazing. Show. Yes, she's awesome. She just put a book out too. I think it just got released, so you can check her episode out. I don't remember what number it is, but anyways, Jen, thanks for reaching out, sharing a little bit. How many of us out there, have deal with that? Everything revolves around alcohol. I know for us, that was a tough thing because everything did, and for a long time, I don't think I found really anything like doing that wasn't fun if I was high or drunk. What about you, Jess?
Yes.
That's it?
Yeah, same. I would, yeah. It was.
All right. Okay. Where's Dr. Phyllis at? Come on, Dr. Phyllis.
I feel like we're talking about the same stuff. Like we always talk about this.
Well, okay. For those of you who don't know, Jess was also nicknamed Dr. Phyllis because she is a great leader in advice. So how about this one, Jess? You're going to take this one. My husband and I listened to your show.
Give me something good.
I found it.
Just kidding.
I found it for us to help navigate through recovery. A couple times now, I thought he was on track and doing okay, and then it turned out eventually that he was not. Once there was a pattern of secretly drinking that I eventually found out about. Another time, there was one time of a binge relapse. Now I'm afraid we're into another pattern scenario. I only started listening a couple months ago, but I'd like to very much hear a podcast who can talk about how to deal with recovery when, still relapsing or when a spouse is still going through those types of things. Jess, any advice on that?
It's very difficult to live someone else's life and to try to change them because you're not going to. That's kind of what I had to find out. And half of that I learned during Shane's, stint in rehab and sobriety and stuff. And then half of that I learned actually from Shane after he was sober and was learning himself. And, he would always tell me, like, you can't change other people. Like, you just can't do it. It's just never going to happen. You can help them. You can encourage them. You can, all of that. But you're not going to change them. The only thing that you can change is yourself and the way that you react to those people or the amount of time that you're around those people or, the amount of interaction, with that certain person or whatever. So that was like the most, that was like the best advice because I take that like completely. I like every time I've tried to think like, oh, this person, and why aren't they, and why don't they, and when will they, and how will they, and all of that, trying to figure out like how to change them. I immediately go to, it's not them, it's me, like I need to change. Okay, I'm around them too much, or I'm, I have expectations. I'm expecting a certain behavior, or I'm expecting a certain type of thing or person when I'm around them, and then I don't get it, and then I get pissed off. Then I'm like, why didn't they blah 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 blah? And it's like, well, that was not. Because you're not God and you didn't write the book. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of pretty eye-opening,
Well, I heard a good example of that, just what you're talking about today. And this, it was Don Miguel Ruiz again, who was talking about the 4 agreements. And one of the examples he was given was, one of the 4 agreements is not to take anything personally, right? So let's say, you have someone on your Facebook that leaves shitty posts, right? And it pisses you off almost every time. Maybe it's a political post. Maybe it's just something stupid. Maybe it's offensive. I don't know. It could be a number of things, right? Doesn't matter, but it bothers you. You have a choice to let that bother you. I have a choice to go on my Facebook feed and see another post from Bob Dick on there who's leaving, his rants
Bob
or whatever.
Dick.
Yeah, that's his name. I don't know. Just came up with that. That's his, that's his choice to go on there and do that. And now I have I have 2 choices. I can choose to be offended by it and let it piss me off and let it ruin my day. And that's on me. You know what I mean? That's my choice to do that. Or I can choose to not let it bother me and ignore it, or I can block it. I mean, you can do a number of things, but ultimately it's my choice whether or not I'm going to be offended by something. I can't control other people's behaviors. And the moment that I try to start doing that, man, let me tell you, life is really difficult.
Seriously.
And it's not very much fun.
Totally. I went from that to knowing that I can't do that. And that was very helpful information.
Oh, goodness. I'm pretty tired. I'm really happy to have a podcast with you tonight, Jess, but I feel like you're a little bit too quiet for me this evening.
Well, it's because I've got my face and I'm like knee deep.
Like people want to hear you. People want to hear you get into your convo and your.
I just did.
I'm sorry. I'm not calling you out. You're doing a phenomenal job.
Give me another one.
I just feel like you're holding back a little bit here.
No,
Maybe
it's because
wrong.
I'm on this Facebook Live and it's really, it's really.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad you're doing the Facebook Live too.
Yeah, it's neat. A lot of people are tuning in and they like it. So
cool. We've never done the Facebook Live. Huh?
Yeah. Hi, Jimmy.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's do one or let me try to find one more question and then let's see. We did that one. There's a couple of them on here. I just like don't want to read them because they're pretty deep.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna go there right now. I'm just not feeling it.
All right,
cool?
then. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling that right now. I mean, no offense or anything, but
none taken.
I don't know who would be offended. By
none
it,
taken.
Well, I don't know if anyone wants to cut in a mohawk and put it on live or take a photo of it. That'd be awesome. You can still do that.
Yeah, mohawk it up.
Let's wrap this thing up, Jess. Anything you want to add for tonight?
No.
No. All right.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just, like I said, I'm just really excited about mental health awareness this month. Like, I think
me too.
It's important, and I think it needs to be talked about. And I think that, I think it's important too for us to step out of our comfort zone as just people that might not be struggling with something like this. But if you see someone that is, or if you see someone's behavior changing, or, someone's maybe not coming around as much or whatever, take the whatever out of yourself where you're like, oh, why isn't she coming around? And, oh, is it me? Or, the offenses, like lay that down and maybe just try to think about like, what's going on with this person, And I'm not saying that like everybody that doesn't come around or whatever, that's not what I'm saying, but I don't know, some signs. And I'm not a professional, but just for me, my stuff was, I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to talk to people. I wasn't laughing, which is really rare for me. I was crying a lot about everything. I was like everything.
I'm not laughing at you either. I'm just
I know.
I'm thinking back about it, and it's just like.
Well, I still kind of cry about stuff. That's I get very emotional, but
it's only 1 week.
But
out of the month
it's literally
happens.
just like crying about everything, not wanting to go anywhere. No, I'm just gonna stay home. It's fine. Or it's just it's hard. It's a really hard place.
Well, I think there's a good takeaway from this whole conversation, and something that we can practice tomorrow and maybe through the rest of the month, and hopefully through every day that we live on. And I think that one thing we can all do is just ask someone how they're doing. Ask a stranger how they're doing. Don't walk up. Don't do the whole bullshit one though. Like, hey, how you doing? And continue walking. I'm not talking about like that. We do that all the time. Even I do it. It's just one of those sayings that we say because it's like, hey, how you doing? Yeah. Like, I don't really care how you're doing. I'm just saying it because it's something that you're supposed to say, right? Yeah. I'm saying, and I will stand up and do this too tomorrow. Is genuinely ask a stranger how they're doing. And try to care, put some heart into it, and say, hey, how you doing? They might be having a great day. That's awesome. They might be having a phenomenal day. You might catch someone who's having a bad day, and you might wake something up in them that a stranger just happened to care for a moment about how they were doing, and you might change their life.
It's so true, you guys. It's so true. Like one little smile or hey or whatever can make someone feel so welcome. Or so like they belong, or we don't realize as people like what an influence we have. It not me, not Shane, not nothing. Us, everyone, every person in this world can have an influence on someone. Whether you, like Shane said, whether you know them or not, and just be kind. Just go out there and be kind. Say hi, smile. Like, what the flip? Like, do people smile anymore? I don't even know. Like, there are nice people out there, and I know them. I know all of them, I think. But there's also people where I'm like, I mean, really? Like, how hard is it for you to smile? But at the same time, don't judge them, because you never know. You just don't know what they're going through that day. And for that person that didn't smile, instead of walking by and being like, bitch, or whatever, like, how about turn around and be like, I really like your shoes. Right? Or I really like your hair or whatever, right? Like turn it around, be nice, be kind, spread it around. It's contagious, and that one little compliment could really change someone's day or even life.
I don't, I never talk about this, but I think it's relevant right now. And I'm sure a lot of us do this. Maybe you see somebody who's struggling, holding up a sign, they're homeless, whatever. Maybe you give them some food. Maybe you give them a few bucks, whatever. Recently it's happened a couple times, and Buddy and I were actually talking about this recently. I hope he doesn't mind, because he kind of experienced something similar. And I gave a guy some money, and what I did was I gave it to him real quick. And I just said, hey, here you go, man. And I kind of walked away, and I got in the car and I started driving off, and I went, it's not about the money.
Yep.
It's about the time taken, and I was kind of pissed, and I almost kind of like started beating myself up, and I had to stop myself and just learn the lesson for next time. But it would have been so much better to not only give him a few bucks, but go, hey, what's up, man? What's your name? My name's Shane. Nice to meet you. How's your day going, man? Obviously, it looks like, you're, struggling a bit, man. God's got your back. Like, just that little moment of just taking that time, just to talk to somebody. And let me tell you something. Not only does it do, and most of the time mean the world to that other person, but I know from experience, from living a selfish attitude, selfish life for a lot of years, when I finally started to learn that it's, this life is there's much more to it, and it's about giving and about connecting with other people. That changed something in me. And it really does make, even if I'm having a shitty day, going out and helping somebody else or just saying hi or just smiling at someone can make you feel better too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think in that situation, like, with the guy and stuff, like even just making them feel human again, because that's that's something that I mean, people walk by. Okay, so this
I don't know.
is
I
funny.
might be the dude on the side of the road one day. Who knows?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be anybody.
So we stop, and I got to add to this. So Shane sees the guy again. We're driving to Costco or something. Shane sees the guy again. I don't know what he's talking about. He's like, oh, there's Jeremiah, right? Like, whatever. And I'm like, who's that? Who's Jeremiah? He's like, oh, this dude I met, whatever. He pulls into the parking lot, goes over and talks to him. And Lou's like, what's dad doing? Whatever. And I said, oh, he's going to talk to that guy. And she said, oh, well, why? And I said, I was just talking to him and letting him know, like that, well, I said that, that God's with him and that, just being kind to him or whatever, and maybe he might need a little help. So dad's just going to kind of see what's up and whatever. Right. So she's kind of sitting there and she goes, and it was like a busy road, cars driving by. And she goes, why, like, how come none of these other cars are stopping? It was so crazy. Like a 7-year-old mind, just total, like, why aren't all these other cars just driving by?
Because they're bad. They're bastards. You bunch of bastards. Why aren't you stopping?
Because they're hateful people.
They're bad.
And I didn't know how to answer that, you guys. I was totally like, because I mean, what do you say? Yeah, what do you say? Because they are not as kind or whatever. No, like they, because you guys, we go on living our lives and seeing people on the side of the road or whatever the case may be is kind of just like a thing now, right? It's just like, and then you automatically, like, one would go to, they got themselves in this situation, blah, 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 blah. Just like life. It's just kind of crazy. You just got to stop and you got to realize that we're all people. You know what I mean? We're all people. We're all living one life. We're all living in the same world. Like Shane said earlier, we're just different circumstances, Word
to your mother. Word. Is your mother still on, by the way? Word to your mother, Gina.
I don't know. Gina, you there? Oh, Deanna. Hi, Deanna from work. She said,
hi, Deanna.
This is cool.
Well, I'm happy to do this with you tonight, Jess. Thanks for coming back on the show. Thanks to everybody for supporting the show too. There's some things that are going down right now with Sober Guy. Some positive things, definitely, but a lot of cool things. We'll be making some little changes, some upgrades, all that kind of good stuff coming in the months to come. And we appreciate your support. You can go to Sober Guy. That's www.thatsoberguy.com. There's more resources on there. And you can check us out, write us an email, however you want to connect with us. Also, big thanks to URock Foundation, Helios Recovery, and once again, Anthony and his team over at Rise Together, and for them putting together and being involved in the 1 Million Mowhawk Challenge. You can go check that out at 1millionmohawks.com. And if you do cut a mohawk in, be sure to post it on social media. Use the hashtag 1 Million Mowhawk Challenge. We're going to try to get some folks at the barbershops and the salons to get going on. Maybe we'll set up a day in the community to where, we can have people come in and that are willing to support the mental health awareness movement for the month of May.
Yes.
So we're very honored here at Sober Guy to do that. And it's been great to be on today. Jess, thanks for coming on today. And
yes.
Just loving it.
Thank you for having me. I'm always happy to talk about this subject, mental health.
Word. Peace, love, respect. Keep your blood clean, sons. Oh, yeah.